Hi there, my name is John of the channel Faith and Practice, and this is the first session that I'm going to have on a series concerning the truthfulness and the validity of the gospel. And of course, there's a lot of lively discussion on YouTube on this, a lot of people going back and forth, atheists and theists sharing their thoughts. You know what? These are just some of my thoughts on the subject. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be starting right from scratch, right from the most basic thing that I think that we can talk about, and that is there a God? Can we know if God really exists? And of course, atheists would say, no, you certainly cannot know for sure that God exists. I think for sure that we can. And, of course, this is going to elicit some responses, and I'll let you know that if you'd like to discuss this, or if you have any questions for me, by all means, feel free to post any video responses to this. I will put it on. However, I am filtering them, and the reason why is because if a person feels the need to be coarse, uh, drop a bunch of F-bombs and bad language and just not be civil, I'm not going to post those, okay? I'm not going to let those through. But if you want to be civil and cordial about this, I'd be more than happy to field any questions that you have or challenges, okay? So starting from scratch, I'd like to clarify that when I talk about the existence of God in this session, and it might take two, when I'm talking about this, I'm not beginning by starting to talk about the God of the Bible. Okay, that's down the road. Before we get to the Bible, it would be premature for me to start to talk about the validity and the accuracy of the Bible, because obviously if a person doesn't believe in God, it makes that a moot point, right? So I'm going to start from scratch. Is there a God? And what I'm going to do, hopefully I'll be able to do it in one, but of course it's a big issue, right? So I might need 2 sessions for this. I'm going to keep my points to simply 2 points. The first point is going to be, or argument, so to speak, if I can use that term. My first argument is going to be what's naturally observed. It's going to be a natural argument. It's going to be more of an objective argument. And then the second one is going to be a subjective argument. And I'm going to let you know right out of the gate that I am fully aware that the approach that I'm taking to this is of the utmost simplicity. I mean, it is really basic. My 2 points, I don't think a person can be any more basic than this. And you know what? I'm intentionally keeping it that way. And the reason why is this. I don't believe that belief in God requires a lot of mental horsepower or intellectual horsepower. It's not the case. And if indeed God is knowable, then, as I believe that He is, then I believe that He's knowable to people of all intellectual levels, whether they be geniuses or people who are a bit slow mentally, or to children. If there is a God, and if indeed He is knowable, He's going to be knowable to all, and He'll make Himself known in that way. And it's because of that I'm going to intentionally keep it real simple. If you're of high intellect, hopefully it's not so simple that that you miss it. Because if anything, perhaps sometimes people are so intellectual that they have a hard time with simple things. As a matter of fact, the first one is one that some people will reject, and it's this reality. It's the reality that I believe that the existence of God is not so much something that needs to be proven, but rather the existence of God, or a creator, a divine, a supreme being, an intelligent designer, whatever you want to call him at this point. I'm going to use the general term God. That the existence of God is an axiomatic truth for which no proof is needed. Now, I know that this is an argument that's been used a ton over and over and over again, but I don't think it's lost its tread. And that being that the existence of design, the existence of a creation, our very existence is proof of a designer, of a creator. I believe it can be said. Now, I know that a lot of people are getting upset at that right now, because some atheists who are just going, oh no, not that again, not that again. But understand, like a dime worn thin from its often use, I hope that we don't fail to see the true value and the profundity of this particular argument. The reality is that I've never seen this argument adequately answered or rebutted. And the reason why is because it is self-evident. That being this, I'm going to say it like it's never been said before, with the boldness as if it's never been said before. If you and I observe a building, guess what? I don't have to prove to you that there was a builder to the building. Building equals builder. If you see a painting, the existence of the painting says that there was a creator to the painting. Okay? Now, when we look around us, when we look at ourselves, the intricacy of our design, our emotional makeup, it says, guess what? We were designed. There's a creator to us. And someone will object at this and they'll say, no, John, we know better now because we know scientifically that we're just simply the result of evolution. You know what? Even if a person does believe in evolution, which I'm going to very intentionally steer away from that argument because that's not my fight. I've got no interest in that. What I will say is this: our makeup, our personal makeup, who we are as individuals, we've got individuality, and we've got certain things that we deal with, like personhood. We're sentient beings. We've got personalities. We've got aspirations. We've got things like love. Those things, science does not offer an answer to that. There's no answer to that. But rather, these are things that if a person is objective about it, if a person is simply objective about it, then it just simply makes sense. You know, I really appreciate uh, the words of the Declaration of Independence, of all things. You know, the Declaration of Independence says something that I think is really insightful to this. And it's so matter of fact. I'm going to read the beginning. It says, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. But I love that term. We hold these truths to be self-evident. You know what? Of course there's a creator. Even if a person allows that there's some a scientific that we are entirely the process of evolution. And like I said, I'm not getting into that. Even if that were the case, then at some point in that process, there was the introduction of who we are as individuals, our individuality. Okay? That is the stamp of a divine creator. Now, this is what I would encourage a person to do. Just, you know, it might be general at this point, but if a person can simply allow that truth and say, okay, there is some kind of a divine being. There is some kind of a creator. Now, is it possible? Here's some questions. Is it possible that he is knowable, that we can know him? If indeed we have been created, then are we created? Is there a purpose for our creation, for being created? Well, everything that there is in the world that has been created, there's a purpose for. And I would submit this to you, that yes, we've been created, yes, there's a creator, and yes, there's a reason. There's another reason why I believe that argues in favor of the existence of God, and it's not really going to take too long. I like to invite you to watch the second part of this because I'm just going to keep it real simple.